In this tutorial, I will show you how to make a good looking main menu scene, like this one. So the project consists of two scenes. We have a game scene, which is what you see now, and an empty main menu scene, which is this one. We want to switch from our main menu scene to the game scene. First, right click on the hierarchy, go to UI, TextMeshPro. You can use normal text if you want, but I'm going to use TextMeshPro because it has more features. If you decided to use TextMeshPro, go ahead and click Import TMP Essentials. Now you can close this window. I am going to reset the transform and rename it to play button. And don't forget to change the canvas UI scaler mode to scale with screen size. Now I will change the text to play. Adjust the width, height, and the font size. Center the text alignment. And finally, set character spacing to 10. Now I want to use my font, but it won't show up here unless I create a new font asset. And to do that, go to Window, TextMeshPro, Font Asset Creator. Select the font or drag and drop it like so. Keep everything as it is and click Generate Font Atlas. Click Save and save it where you want. Now select the play button text and choose the font. Now duplicate it 2 times by hitting Ctrl+D on your keyboard. I will rename them to Options and Credits buttons. Now I will separate them by changing the Y position, and I will also do some changes to the font size, color, and more to make the buttons look better in our scene. Now as you can see, our buttons aren't buttons yet. They are just text objects. So let's add some functionality to them by creating a script. First, I will create a new folder called Scripts. And inside this folder, I will create a new C# script named Scene Switcher. And I will open it up. Here you must type using Unity Engine.Scene Management to get access to the Scene Manager class. Now inside our Scene Switcher class, we will create a public void function called OpenScene with an argument that has an integer variable named index. Inside this function, type scenemanager.loadScene index, and that's it for this script. Now let's save and go back to Unity. Select the main camera and drag and drop the script into it. Select the play button and click Add New Component. Search for button and add it. Now under on click the plus sign, choose the main camera as the object and look for our function. If you don't see it, make sure the open scene function is public and you save the script. Now open the build settings window by pressing Ctrl-Shift-B on your keyboard or go to File, Build Settings. Now since I have the main menu scene opened, I can easily click Add Open Scenes to add it to the scene index. As you may notice, there are numbers on the right of each scene we added. These numbers are the index numbers and starts from 0. You can move scenes up and down to change their index number if you want. Now, in this case, the game scene index number is 1. Let's go back to the main menu scene. Select play button, and now we should type 1 here since it's the index number of our game scene. Now let's test it. It works. But the scene looks really boring. Let's add some animations. To do that, I will make a new folder called Animations. Inside this folder, I will create a new animator controller. Rename it to Buttons. Now select all the buttons and drag and drop the animator controller into the inspector. Now all of them have the same controller, so we only need to work on one button and the animation will be applied to the rest. Now go to Window, Animation and hit Animation. Now with this window, we will animate our buttons. Choose any button you want and the Create button will appear in the animation window. Click Create and name it to Scale Up. I called it Size Up to trigger you. First, let me do some changes to the play button, so all of them will have the same font size, because that's what we are going to animate. The font size. Now click here, then click Record. Go to the inspector and scale the font size up. You can stop recording now. Create a new clip like so, and this time name it Scale Down. This clip will animate the buttons back to their normal size. Click here, and before recording, make sure that your font size is set to the scaled up size. In our case is 30. Now hit record and scale the font down back to 25. Stop recording and previewing. Now, as I said earlier, all the buttons will have the same animation automatically because all of them are sharing the same animator controller. Now go to your animations folder and make sure to uncheck the loop box from both of the clips. If we click play, you will see that they are still not animated, and that's because we need to tell the animator controller when to scale up or down. I forgot to set the play button size back to 25 when I finished the scale down animation, so I will exit play mode and fix it. Now go to Window, Animation, Animator, and this window will show up. I will organize the window. Right click on the blank space and then create an empty state. Rename it to normal. Select it and right click on it and make it the default layer state. Select it again and right click to make a transition, then drag it to size up. Same thing from size up to size down, and from size down to normal. Now select the play button and change the button transition to animation. Do the same thing to the other buttons too. Now as you can see, our buttons have different triggers by default. We are only going to use normal and highlighted triggers. On the animator window, go to the parameters tab and click the plus sign. Then select trigger. Name it to highlighted with the capital H as written here. Add another trigger and name it to normal with the capital N as written here also. Now select the transition line between the normal and size up and disable has exit time and fixed duration and set transition duration to 0. Add a condition and select highlighted. Now select the transition line between the size up and size down clips and do the same things, except this time the condition will be normal. Then select the last transition line, keep has exit time and fixed duration checked, and set the transition duration to 0 for instant transition. Now the buttons will be always normal. Unless we hover over them, the highlighted parameter will be triggered, which will make the transition from normal to size up animation. And if we remove the cursor from the buttons, the normal parameter will be triggered and play the size down animation. And from size down directly to normal, because we have exit time checked in a duration of 0 seconds. Now let's try it out. As you can see, we successfully animated our buttons. But we are missing something. We need sound effects. I already imported an audio clip here, and I want to play this sound whenever we hover over a button. And to do that, it's very easy. First, create a new empty game object, name it to audio, and reset the transform. Now let's make a simple C# script. I will call it destroy, and it will simply remove the audio from the scene when it finishes playing. Create a start function, and inside type destroy GameObject, 3f. And that means any GameObject that has this script will be destroyed after 3 seconds. Save and go back to Unity. Select audio and drag and drop the destroy script into the inspector. Now add a new component called audio source. Make sure the play on awake is checked. I will reduce the volume a little bit because it's too high by default. And in the audio clip, I will select my sound effect audio. You can also drag and drop it. Now take the audio object and drop it in the file window. Now go ahead and delete it from the scene. Now let's make another simple script called play audio. Create a new public game object. And a public void function called drop audio. Inside type instantiate audio object, transform.position, transform.rotation. Save it and go back to Unity. Select the main camera and drag and drop the script in the inspector. Now choose the audio to be the audio object. Select all the buttons, add a new component called event trigger. Now to make changes to the component, we have to do it one by one. Select the play button and then under event trigger component, click add new event type and select pointer enter. Click the plus sign and choose the main camera, and the function will be drop audio. Now what this will do is whenever we hover over a button, it will instantiate an audio object to the scene, and the audio object will play the sound effect and will be removed from the scene after 3 seconds. Now I will do the same thing to the other buttons too. Let's test it out. Much better. Of course, you can make a better transition between scenes, but it's not going to be in this video. Now quickly, I will make a credit scene to make the credits button functional.